You took a great snapshot of a Texas that doesn't exist anymore, and I'm grateful for that. I don't know how old some of you kids are, but whenever I was a young pup growing up in the 90s, everybody fucking talked like that. When's the last time you heard a real person use that accent? Not around here. So thank you for that. First question, the music. Who did the music? Because the theme is fucking badass.
Well, thank you. The girl who got her throat cut in the cemetery at the tree, that was Kim Davis. She did some of it. She lived in a duplex over in Dallas, like Lower Greenville area, and
We don't go there.
her neighbor upstairs was a window washer, but he was also a composer. So he did some music. At the time, I was working at Allied Film and Video over in Las Colinas, which was the professional motion picture lab for the area. And the guy that was the lab manager, John Hudak, was also kind of a closet composer. So he did some of it as well. Now, another thing we did was we bought an album of no license required music. So you just bought the album for $100 or whatever, and you could use all the music on it as many times as you want. So one of the scenes in here, I think it's the scene where Cody's killed Sean and he's like eating the cornflakes and all that kind of stuff, and that really nice kind of melancholy music. That was actually a piece of music composed by Ennio Morricone.
Dude, that's great.
What are the odds of Ennio Morricone having a song in my movie, right?
Oh, that's so good. Okay, locations. Around here?
We shot in Poolville, which is a little town out on Jacksboro Highway, west of here, about, 40-minute drive, something like that.
Yeah. Oh, man, okay. So how long did it take from conception to release?
Oh, gosh. We had the conception. We spent about a month getting ready to shoot. We were shooting 2 movies back to back at the time. Abomination was the first. The second one was called Ozone: Attack of the Redneck Mutants.
I need it.
Both happened in Poolville, same cast, same crew, everything. And so we shot the idea was to shoot a film in 10 days. So within a month, we were going to have 2 movies that we had shot, or that was the plan. I shot Abomination in 10 days. What you see is what you get. We recycled a lot of
You didn't recycle footage, did you?
I told you this was the B movie part of it. The second movie, we started on it, and it just dragged on and on and on. We spent a lot more time with it. It looks a lot better than The Abomination. But for some reason, it never really got the traction that The Abomination did.
Yeah.
I think The Abomination was just such a different
It's
kind of
different.
a concept. You know?
Yeah. And last question for me before we open up to the audience. What the fuck was in the tub with all the guts? Like, was that real guts?
That was real guts. We got those from a slaughterhouse out on the way to Poolville.
Yeah, I was about to say, that was a little too authentic.
It was hot in that nasty old house. It had no electricity. We were running cables in from outside. I had a fan. I was running the camera, so I had a fan, and it was blowing the smell pretty much away from me, and I was about to throw up. The people that were in the scene, imagine what it would be like to be in there operating in the cabinet, operating the stuff, and have all that stuff dumped in your lap.
You're a monster. Why would you do that? All right, we got time for a few questions. We know it's storming outside, but I think it's about to pass over. John, what's up?
So the little neighborhood with the White House where he goes up and the girl calls, where was that?
That was shot on Ryan Place in
That's what I
South
thought,
Fort
yeah,
Worth.
my neighborhood.
Yeah, that was a rental house I was living in at the time.
I lived in Ryan Place in '96. I mean, I lived there,
Uh-huh.
80 from '85 on. So.
Right.
Cool. The guts, man. I mean,
It's
The cat, but my other question, the cat, that's a well damn behaved cat, right? Around with the windows open.
The
What's
guy
the deal
that
with
played
the cat?
Cody, he and the blonde girl that he kills in the cemetery, they were brother and sister in real life. They share an apartment, and that was their cat. So the cat was, very comfortable with them, and he wasn't harmed.
It survived with
There was not even any water in that toilet when we put him in there.
So, the cast, friends of yours, or?
Yeah, my partner at the time was Matt Devlin. His real name was John Davis. The guy that played Cody was Scott Davis, his brother. Kim Davis is the blonde. She was his sister. My brother Brad was in it. Blue Thompson, who plays Kelly, was my wife at the time, Carolyn. And let's see, my father was the doctor that comes out carrying the thing. My stepfather was Brother Fogg.
Was he also a financier of this one?
Brother Fogg no, he wasn't.
Okay.
Brother Fogg, my stepdad, B.R. Flores, owned most of what was worth owning in Bedford, Texas. He built like shopping centers and all that kind of stuff. He was a very successful commercial real estate guy. And when I asked him to do this, I thought he was going to say, no way. And surprisingly, he did it. And why he did it, I'll never know.
Dude,
But
he's got that Texas
he's one of the
twang.
best things about it.
Oh, absolutely. He's loaded with personality.
And you were talking about the snapshot of a Texas that no longer exists. As much as we should not want to admit it, when I was growing up, driving around with my dad in his pickup truck, he was drinking beer constantly, tossing the empties
seatbelt.
back into the bed.
No seatbelt.
So
rolling
yeah,
around,
until they
kids
made it
floorboard.
passed a law, against it,
I don't
he was
understand why
always.
you can't drink that. Okay, another question. In the back.
So it feels like gothic horror, cosmic horror are very much the influences here. There's like a little bit of like telltale art in some points with the thumb thumb. Like you mentioned it was like 10 days for shooting and all that. What really was the kind of the inception point for creating this?
We had made a movie prior to this that we spent way too much money on, and we couldn't get it distributed. And so as we had shopped it around out in California, we found out that really low budget remember this is like at the boom of VHS, okay? So anyone who had the rights or could get their hands on an old horror movie from way back before the drive-in days was transferring it to video and releasing it on VHS, and they were doing pretty well. Herschel Gordon Lewis, have any of you seen a Herschel Gordon Lewis movie?
Disgusting.
He's pretty much credited with inventing the gore movie, okay? With Flesh Feast. Flesh Feast, is that? Yeah, that's right. Anyway, Blood Feast.
Blood Feast, yeah.
He was one of the inspirations. The film was just a gore delivery system. We knew we didn't have to have a great story or anything. We knew that if we just had a whole bunch of gore, that people would like to see it. And so in my mind, what it was a fusion of Herschel Gordon Lewis on one hand and H.P. Lovecraft on the other. And I would have made the monster a lot more impressive had we had the budget to do that.
Right. Oh, that's awesome. All right, one more question. Yes, sir.
So I was wondering about, clearly the priest on the brother
Fogg.
Fogg was supposed to be comedy when he was on the toilet, right?
Well, did you laugh? In that case, yes. Actually, there's a lot of funny things in this. We weren't taking ourselves too seriously.
Okay,
You notice all the beer drinking. We actually got product placement from Shiner Beer. So they gave us like 20 cases of beer. So I shouldn't admit this, we were drunk a good deal. And we were especially drunk when we were doing the post-production and the sound effects and everything. So, you know, it is what it is. It was intended to be over-the-top gore, but gore you could also laugh at and not take too serious.
And, okay, so you shot this on Super 8.
Super 8
You
film.
transferred it all to tape to like, was it
3/4 inch, yeah.
And then edited it here.
Edited
right?
here in Fort Worth at MCM Productions over on the.
How long did editing take? Just curious.
Oh, that went on for a long time because,
If you did ADR out the ass on this one, right?
well, yeah, lots of ADR, and our deal was for almost no money, but we had to use it at night when the business was closed.
Hey!
So we're editing, you know, all night
You
long.
use so many classic like movie making techniques. I'm like, oh, I know how you do that. Okay, so the second that the dude shows up with the awful wig, the awful afro, you know something's gonna happen in that head, right?
Exactly.
It's just like nobody has hair like that. You better split that melon. And I'm so glad you did. And then the bit with Cody at the end where he's stabbed, you just have him through the wall on the top, right?
Right.
And then have a fake torso.
Yeah,
Genius.
shot that in my brother's garage.
It goes in your garage. You
In
made
my
a
brother's
possible.
garage, yeah.
Oh my gosh! And the set that you were in, the cabinets and stuff, was that built into a kitchen, or did you build that whole wall set?
No, the house was, there's a guy named Curtis Moore who owned a very big flooring company in Fort Worth. He was best friends with my stepdad. He had that house on a piece of property on a ranch that he owned out near Bullville. We were looking for locations, and he said, I'm gonna let you use this house, do whatever you want to it. In fact, if you guys would burn it down, I would consider it. So we intended to burn it down. Initially, we were gonna shoot Ozone first, using that location. Then we were gonna do Abomination using that location. And when the stove was flopping and it
Yeah.
sparked and filled with smoke, that was the setup for the house to burn down. But at the last minute, my partner begged off, said he couldn't do it, he wasn't ready, so I went ahead and shot the Abomination first. Then by the time we finished shooting Ozone, which dragged on for over 20 days, it was like, forget it, man, we're done, we're out of here, that's it.
Yeah.
And Curtis was actually kind of disappointed that we didn't burn his house.
Is the house still standing?
No, they tore it down about 3 or 4 years after
But
that,
didn't
yeah.
burn it down. Dude. All right, one more question, and then we'll move on to, we have a prize winner, Mr. Bookman?
Yes.
Okay, one more question. Yes?
So with the recycled footage, did you intend there to be any symbolism with the horse?
The horse, to me, represents us. Where all we want is to be fed. We're kind of in our own little environment where we're closed off. Somebody feeds us and takes care of us. Meanwhile, all this horrible shit's going on around us, and we're just completely oblivious to it.
I love the contrast of beautiful flowers, beautiful skies with the Abomination. Brett, thank you so much for coming in.
Yes, I want to announce the winner of the raffle drawing, which includes an autographed Blu-ray of The Abomination by Mr. McCormick himself, and a We're Vintage t-shirt. So is there a Jocelyn Salazar here?
Salazar?
Salazar?
Oh. Uh-oh.
What?
No, go for it. Go. Yeah. Yes.
Tim H. Tim Charles Howell. Thank you for having us here on Wednesday, opening for this amazing movie. This was quite an honor. Everyone have a great night.
Thank you.